So, good morning everyone. Today I am going to discuss oxidation reductions under free energy in chemical equilibrium chapter. So, what is oxidation? What is reductions? All of you should know. We have studied already class 10 and 11, 12 level. So, again, oxidation reductions. So, oxidations in class 10 level, addition of oxygen. Okay, whereas reduction, removal of oxygen. As for example, magnesium plus O2 you get twice MgO. Similarly, copper oxide plus C you get Cu plus Cu. Removal of hydrogen. Oxidation means removal of hydrogen. Reduction means addition of hydrogen. So H2S plus Cl2 we get twice HCl plus S. Similarly, S plus H2 we get H2S. Increase in positive charge, that is oxidation state increases plus 2 to plus 3 at the expense of removal of electrons, that is the oxidations. So increase in positive charge in case of oxidations. Here decrease in positive charge, that is Fe3 plus electron, that is Fe2 plus. So plus 3 to plus 2, that is oxidation state decreases or decrease in positive charge. Increase in oxidation number. Increase in oxidation number for oxidations. So SnCl2 plus 2, SnCl4 plus 4. So oxidation number increases plus 2 to plus 4. Similarly, in case of reduction, decrease in oxidation number. MnO4 minus to Mn2 plus. As you know, this is the Mn plus 7 state because 4 into minus 2 equals to minus 1. So minus 8, that is plus 8, minus 1, that is plus 7. So plus 7 to plus 2, that is decrease in oxidation number. And removal of electron. Oxidation means removal of electrons. So Sn2 plus loses 2 electrons, that becomes Sn4 plus. Similarly, addition of electron, that is gaining of electrons, accepting of electron, that is the reduction. So Fe3 plus electron, that is Fe2 plus. So simply oxidation means, in this level oxidation means we should know oxidation number increases, or you can say oxidation state increases, and removal of electron, that is the oxidation. Similarly, reduction means addition of electron or gaining of electrons, and oxidation number decreases or oxidation state decreases. So that is the oxidation and reductions. So these are the concept of class 10 level: addition of oxygen, removal of oxygen, removal of hydrogen, addition of hydrogen. So these are the class 10 level definitions, no problem. But we should remember that oxidation means loss of electron. Oxidation means increase of oxidation number. Reduction means addition of electron, gaining of electron. Reduction means decrease in oxidation number. So that is the oxidation and reduction. So now come to the redox reactions. So what is the redox reaction? These are the reactions in which both oxidation and reductions takes place simultaneously. So these are the reactions in which both oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously, is called redox reactions. So you see, MnO4 minus, Mn plus 7 state plus 5 Fe2 plus 8 H plus. So this redox reaction is carried out in acid medium to maintain the optimum pH, we know. So plus 7 to plus 2, that is reductions. So you see, according to definition, plus 7 to plus 2 oxidation number decreases, so it is a reductions. Similarly, Fe2 plus, so 2 plus 2, 3 plus. So oxidation number increases, that is oxidations. So that's why it is called redox reaction. So it is called redox reaction because both oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously. Okay. So now oxidation number. Okay. So in the periodic table chapters, we have already discussed oxidation state. Okay. So now oxidation number, it is an imaginary or apparent charge gained by an element when it should be element, okay, when it goes from its elemental free state to combined state in molecules. So oxidation number, it is an imaginary or apparent charge gained by an element when it goes from its elemental free state to combined state in molecules. It is calculated on the basis of arbitrary set of rules and it is relative charge in a particular bonded state. So rule governing oxidation number. Rule number 1. Now we should remember fluorine atom. Fluorine is most electronegative atom, we know. It always has oxidation number equal to -1. So in all its compounds it is -1. In case of oxygen atom, in general and as well as in its oxides, oxygen atom has oxidation number equal to -2. Okay, generally we know the oxidation number of oxygen in -2, but you should remember in case of peroxide, okay, -1 H2O2, superoxide -half, oxygen fluoride OF2 is +2, and in O2F2 +1. We should remember this thing, very important, it will come as a MCQ question. So in O2F2 oxidation number of oxygen +1, in OF2 oxidation number of oxygen +2 because fluorine is more electronegative than oxygens. So in superoxide -half, peroxide -1. Okay. Now hydrogen atom, in general hydrogen atom has oxidation number equal to +1, but in metallic hydride like sodium hydride, potassium hydride, it is -1. Okay. In case of halogen atom, in general all halogen atom, chlorine, bromine, iodine, has oxidation number equal to -1, but if halogen atom is attached with more electronegative atom then halogen atom, okay, so then it will show positive oxidation number. What I have told you, if the halogen atom is attached with more electronegative atom than halogen atom, then it will show positive oxidation number. You see KClO3, okay, they are more electronegative oxygens, so that's why it is +5, HiO3 +5, HClO4 +7, KBrO3 +5. Okay, remember this rule. Alkali metals like sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium always have oxidation number equals to +1. Alkali metals, it is group number 1, so it should have oxidation number +1. Similarly, alkaline earth metal, beryllium, magnesium, calcium always have oxidation number +2. Metal may have positive or 0 oxidation number, like aluminium always have +3 oxidation number, and elemental in free state or in allotropic form is always 0. You see, O2, homonuclear diatomic molecule, it possesses 0 oxidation state. This is allotropic S8, P4O3, all possess 0 oxidation or oxidation number. Sum of the charges of element in a molecule is 0. Okay, sum of the charges of the element in a molecule is a 0. In a molecule is 0 means for a neutral molecule. It should be in a neutral molecule. Okay. And sum of the charges of all elements in ions is equal to the charge on that ion. That is MnO4 minus. So sum of the charge will be equals to -1. Okay. If it is considered KClO3, it should be neutral molecule, it should be 0. Okay. Now, if the group number of an element in periodic table is n, then its oxidation number may vary from n to n-8, but it is mainly applicable for p block elements. So n atom belongs to group 15 in the periodic table. Therefore, as per the rules, its oxidation number may vary -3 to +5. You see, NH3 -3, NO +2, N2O3 +3, NO2 +4, N2O5 +5. Okay, so this is the oxidation number for p block element. So n-8. So This is the rule up to 11th rule. So in order to find out the oxidation number, we should know the oxidation number of fluorine. Okay. Next, oxidation number of oxygen, but generally -2, but there is a superoxide, peroxides, and O2F2. We should remember this exceptional case. Hydrogen -1 in case of metallic hydride. It is in case of metallic hydride it is -1. Generally +1s. Halogen generally -1, and sometimes if it is attached to more electronegative atom, then it's positive oxidation number. So halogen generally we know -1, but if it is attached with more electronegative atom, thus so it bear positive oxidation number. Alkali metal +1, alkaline earth metal +2. So these are the oxidation number rules. We should follow these oxidation number rules in order to find out the oxidation number of any particular element. If neutral molecule, total sum of the charge will be 0. If anionic species, equals to minus charge. If cationic species, equals to plus charge. Okay. Now oxidizing agent or oxidant. Oxidizing agent are those compounds which can oxidize others and reduce itself during the chemical reactions. Oxidizing agent are those compounds which can oxidize others and reduce itself during the chemical reactions. Those reagents whose oxidation number decrease or which gain electron in a redox reactions are termed as oxidant or oxidizing agent. KMnO4, K2CO7, HNO3, H2SO4. Okay, so these are the powerful oxidizing agent. So these are the powerful oxidizing agent. Okay. Now reducing agent or reductant. Reducing agent are those compounds which can reduce others. Reducing agent are those compounds which can reduce others and oxidize itself during the chemical reactions. Those reagents whose oxidation number increases or which lose electrons in a redox reaction is termed as a reductant. Ki in sodium thiosulfate is a powerful reducing agent. So there are some compounds which also shows both oxidizing and reducing agent, that is H2O2 and NO2 minus. So these are the compounds shows both oxidizing reducing agent. So reducing agents are those compounds which can reduce other substance but itself oxidized. Okay, itself oxidized, that is the reducing agent. Okay. So now disproportionation reactions. Okay. So before discussing disproportionation reaction, you should look this diagram of oxidation number of central atom. So identification of oxidizing and reducing agent from oxidation state. This is another key rule or tricks how to identify the oxidizing agent or reducing agent. So find the oxidation state of central atom. If you get the oxidation state, then if OS oxidation state is maximum, it is oxidizing agent. If OS oxidation state is minimum, it is reducing agent. If OS is intermediate between max and minimum, it can act both oxidizing and reducing agent. It can also disproportionate as well. So what I told you, first you find out the oxidation state of the central atom. After getting this oxidation state, if OS is maximum, it is oxidizing agent. If OS is minimum, it is reducing agent. If OS is intermediate between max and minimum, it can act both oxidizing and reducing agent. Also it can disproportionate as well. Okay, so this is the way you can find out directly oxidizing agent, reducing agent after getting OS oxidation state. Okay, now come to disproportionation reaction. Are redox reactions in which a same element present in a particular compound in a definite oxidation state is oxidized as well as reduced simultaneously is a disproportionation reactions. That is set of oxidation number. Causes are redox reactions in which a same element present in a particular compound, a redox reactions in which same element present in a particular compound in a definite oxidation state is oxidized as well as reduced simultaneously. So particular substance oxidation state is oxidized as well as reduced simultaneously. It is known as disproportionation reaction. So look this example. Hydrogen peroxide H2O2. Okay. So what we will have? We have seen that here oxygen is -1, fine. Here oxygen is -2. Here oxygen elemental state, molecule state 3, 0. So oxygen having this oxygen -1 to -2, that is reductions, and -1 to 0 oxidation. So both oxidation state is oxidized and reduced. So you see this oxidation state oxidized and this also reduced. So that's why this is the example of disproportionation reaction. Similarly Cl2, here 0 plus 2 is minus, okay. COL minus plus 1, okay. Why? Because -2 equals to -1, that is plus 1. Cl minus -1. So 0 to -1 reduction, 0 to +1 oxidations. So oxidized and reduced takes place simultaneously. So that's why it is called disproportionation reaction. I think you understood. So again I tell you, here oxygen -1, -1 to -2 reduction, -1 to 0 oxidation. So oxidized and reduced takes place simultaneously. Similarly in case of Cl2, 0 to +1 oxidations, 0 to -1 reductions. Okay, so both oxidation state is oxidized as well as reduced simultaneously. That is called disproportionation reaction. So disproportionate reactions are special type of redox reactions. As you know, redox reaction, oxidation reduction takes place simultaneously. As I told you here, one of the reactants in a disproportionation reactions always contains an element that can exist in at least 3 oxidation states. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so this is the line. One of the reactant in a disproportionation reactions always contains an element that can exist in at least 3 oxidation states. So the element in the form of reacting substance is in the intermediate oxidation state, and both higher and lower oxidation state of that element are formed in the reactions. Both higher and lower oxidation state, an element possesses 3 oxidation state, 0, +1, -1. Okay, so that is the main characteristics of disproportionation reactions. Again I tell you, disproportionate reactions are a special type of redox reactions. One of the reactants in a disproportionate reactions always contains an element that can exist in at least 3 oxidation state. Okay, so I have finished the oxidation reduction as per the syllabus. Next, move on. Another important topic in metallurgy portion, Elingham diagram. It is also given under chapter 3, energy in chemical equilibrium. So Elingham diagram, this is also very important. It is applicable for metallurgy to find out the oxidation state and at which temperature the oxides are stable. So Elingham diagram. What is the Elingham diagram? Okay. Then we discuss the salient features. So first, plot of del G value for 1 mole of common reactant like oxygen, sulfur or halogen versus temperature. Del G, simply del G versus temperature. Look, this is del G versus temperature. Okay. So plot of del G value for 1 mole of common reactant like oxygen, sulfur or halogen versus temperature for a number of metal to metal oxides, sulfide, halide reactions are known as Elingham diagram. So plot of del G versus temperature of a common reactant like oxygen, sulfur, halogen Okay, for a number of metal or metal oxides, metal to metal oxides, sulfides and halides, that is known as Ellingham diagram. Ellingham diagram is a plot between del 0 and T for the formation of oxides of metal. A general reactions expressing oxidation is given twice XMS plus O2. Why we get twice Mx O within S, that is solid. Gibbs equation help us. Gibbs equation gives from free energy. Gibbs equation help us to predict spontaneity. We know del G less than 0 spontaneity of a reactions on the basis of enthalpy and entropy values directly. Okay. So HGT Ellingham proposed the Ellingham diagram to predict the spontaneity of reduction of a various metal oxide. So main motto of this diagram, spontaneity of the reduction of various metal oxide. Ellingham diagram was basically a curve. It is basically a curve which related the Gibbs energy value with temperature. Gibbs energy is given del G equals to del H minus T del S from thermodynamics. We get this value, where del G is the change in enthalpy and del S is the change in entropy. So with respect to reaction, Gibbs energy can be related to the equilibrium constant. We know del G0 equals to minus RT ln K from chemical equilibrium. So we get del G0, 0 is standard state, minus RT ln K, where K is equilibrium constant. Now the free energy of a formation is negative for most metal oxide. Free energy of formation is negative for most metal oxides, which means the reaction can proceed without further influence. Therefore, the diagram is drawn with del G equals to 0 at the top of the diagram, and the values of del G shown are all negative numbers. All negative numbers. Okay? You see all the negative numbers. Here 0. Okay? All negative numbers. Clear? So and the values of del G shown are all negative numbers. C plus O2 CO2. Carbon, a solid, reacts with 1 mole of oxygen and produces 1 mole of carbon dioxide, which results in little change of entropy. An almost horizontal plot, twice C plus O2, twice CO. What will happen? You see the reactions, twice CO plus O2, twice CO2. Okay? And this is the reactions. So this is twice CO2, twice CO. Okay. So now when you come to this point, again discuss. So in these reactions, a solid once more reacts with 1 mole of gas, but produces 2 moles of gas. Okay. Carbon monoxide, this causes a substantial increase in entropy, and the plot has a distinct negative slope. So that is the main motto or characteristics. You can say this is the main features of the Ellingham diagram in metallurgy portion. So salient features of Ellingham diagram for oxides. It is possible to visualize directly. It is possible to visualize directly the affinities of metal for oxygen. So metal always have an affinity to oxygens in their standard conditions by observing the relative positions of the line in the diagram. So these are the lines. You see all the del G negatives value. Higher, this is the del G value, higher del G value. Okay. So it is possible to visualize directly the affinities of metal for oxygen in their standard conditions by observing the relative positions of the lines in the diagram. Okay, so that is the first salient features of Ellingham diagram. So next move on. You see, so now I discuss the Ellingham diagram and also discuss the another pictures 2, 3, 4. So what will happen in case of this is the 4 CO2, 2 CO, Okay, minus 300. Now this is the twice C plus O2 twice CO. So here the temperature. Okay, this is the temperature, and with rise in temperature, with this one is more stable. Okay, so in case of CO2, this is the CO2 curve. Okay, this is the zinc oxide, this is the CO2 curve. This is the aluminium oxide. Okay, and this is the magnesium oxides. Okay, high temperatures it gets the stability. So magnesium oxide stable at a higher temperature. Okay, so it is possible. Similarly, in case of C plus O2 CO2, you see this is the CO2. Okay, this is the FeO, and this is the CO2. If the carbon monoxide reacts with oxygen, if C plus O2, then we get CO2. Again you see, come to the point, C plus O2 reacts with 1 mole of, what is 1 mole of carbon dioxide, result in the little change of entropy and almost horizontal plot. Almost horizontal plot. You see, carbon dioxide almost horizontal plot. When it reacts with carbon, reacts with oxygen, we get horizontal plot. But when we get carbon monoxide react with oxygen, we get CO2. Here you see, carbon monoxide plus O2 twice C plus O2. Here what will happen? Solid once more reacts with 1 mole of gas, but produces 2 moles of gas, carbon monoxides. Okay, so this one. Now it is possible to identify that there are easily reducible oxides of Arium, silver, mercury. There are other oxides of greater stability such as FeO, P2O5, MnO, etc. and refractory oxides which are very difficult to reduce such as zirconium oxide, aluminium oxide, calcium oxide, magnesium oxides, etc. because it is stable high temperature. So the line for CO interacts at the line of most of the metal. Okay, so most of the metal CO interacts. CO means, okay, this one. Most of the metal is interacts. Most of the metal, you see, this is the CO line. Okay, this explains why carbon is considered as an energetic reducing agent in high temperature. So carbon is considered as an energetic reducing agent at high temperature. The line of del G0 for CO and CO2, both CO2, CO2, crosses at about 700 degrees centigrade. 700 degrees centigrade. Hence, CO is more stable than CO2 at temperatures higher than 7 degrees centigrade. Okay, so CO2, you see the temperature CO2 is around 400 degrees centigrade. Okay, but CO, you see the CO temperature is much more. Okay, so CO is more stable than CO2. Okay, similarly, the reduction of CO2 and FeO by carbon is feasible above 100 degrees centigrade. CO2 and FeO, you see, CO2 and FeO above 100 degrees centigrade. Okay, and 720 degrees centigrade respectively. CO2 100 degrees centigrade. Okay, and FeO by carbon is feasible above 70 degrees respectively. However, the reduction of so-called refractory oxide TiO2, MgO by carbon is difficult because at high temperature involved. You see magnesium oxide, high temperature involved. The height of the line is in Ellingham diagram indicates the instability of the oxides. The height of the line. So height of the line indicates the instability of the oxides. Higher the line, more positive del G. Sorry, the more positive del G. It should be del G. Okay, so the height of the line in Ellingham diagram indicates the instability of the oxide. Higher the line, more positive del G. the less spontaneous formation of the oxides. Okay, so that is the features, salient features. Also there are so many features left. So this is the height of the line of Ellingham diagram, indicates the instability. Clear? Number 7, Ellingham diagram help us in predicting the feasibility of thermal reduction of an ore. Ellingham diagram help us in predicting the feasibility of thermal reduction of an ore. Reaction will be feasible only if del G is negative. By mistake it is written as a del A, actually it should be del. Okay. Del G is negative. His diagram and its variants help to select best reducing agent for the various ores for extracting metal process. So in a metallurgy process, it can predict or help to select the best reducing agent for various ores for extraction purpose. Okay, so that is the up to number 8. There are 8 points salient features of Ellingham diagram which I have already discussed. Okay, now importance of Ellingham diagram. As is evident from the reactions, the gaseous amount of reactant is decreasing from left to right as the product form is solid metal oxides on the right hand side. Hence we can say that molecular randomness, nothing but entropy, is also decreasing. If randomness decreasing, then del S should be decreasing from left to right. Thus del H is negative and del G shifts towards higher side despite rising T. So hence if the molecular randomness is also decreasing from left to right, thus del S is negative and del G shift towards higher side despite rising T. Hence for the most of the reactions shown above, for the formation of MXO metal oxides, curve is positive, except for the process in which change of phase takes place. Each plot is a straight line. This temperature at which change of phase takes place is indicated by the positive increase in slope. For the example, the melting is indicated by an abrupt change in the curve in zinc and Zn oxide plot. So zinc and Zn oxide plot. You see zinc and Zn oxide plot. The metal oxide is stable at point in a curve below which del is negative. So metal oxides is stable at the point in a curve below which del is negative. Above this point, the metal oxide is unstable and decomposes on its own. Again, this is the very important. Metal oxides is stable at the point in a curve below which del G is negative, and above this point, the metal oxide is unstable and decomposes on its own. Feasibility of reductions of the oxides of the upper line by the element represented by lower line is determined by the difference in the two del G value after point of interaction in the Ellingham diagram. Feasibility of reductions of the oxides of the upper line by the element represented by the lower line is determined by the difference in the two del G value after the point of intersection in the Ellingham diagram. Number 5. The reduction of metal oxides with carbon or carbon monoxides to form the free reduced metals is of immense industrial importance. Blast furnace reduction of iron ore. An Ellingham diagram shows the lowest temperature at which the reaction will occur for each metal. So that is also very important point. So reduction of metal oxides with carbon. Carbon is a good reducing agent. Reduction of metal oxide with carbon or carbon monoxide to form free and reduced metal is of immense industrial importance, like blast furnace reduction of iron ore. An Ellingham diagram shows the lowest temperature range at which the reaction will occur for each metal. So that is the main importance of the Ellingham diagram. Again I tell you, so reduction of metal oxide with carbon or carbon monoxides to form the free and reduced metal is of the immense industrial importance, like blast furnace reduction of iron ore. and Ellingham diagram shows the lowest temperature at which reaction will occur for each metal. So that is the importance of Ellingham diagram. So I have finished Ellingham diagram, their characteristics, their features, importance, also explanation of the graph. I hope you are enjoying these video lectures. So thanks for watching video lectures.